Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode. Oh, yeah, guys. So we have been working with Applied Energistics these last episodes. We've been trying to get things automated. And since last episode, I went ahead and I moved over our Ender IO machines to another one of our little machine areas here. The reason why I wanted to do this is so we can start hooking up the automations so we can start automating capacitors. That's like one of the big things that we need to do that's holding us back, and it's a real pain to do manually. So our alloy smelter here, like we had before, has been set up so we have all of these different materials that we can auto process. And in fact, what we're probably going to end up doing is adding in a few more alloy smelters here, so we can do multiple recipes at once, and we're out of space on that one interface to push more recipes into this one alloy smelter. I figure we probably have one or two more of these things by the time we're all done here. But another thing is, like, the slice and splice is required for us to make this melodic capacitor. Yeah, so this absolutely has to be part of our auto crafting recipe chain. So let's go ahead and make a pattern for that guy. So over here, we go make sure we're on processing pattern and melodic, click it. We don't want those as part of the recipe, but everything else is fine. So we can do that. And then over here, we can go over to slice and splice and apply that there. So now if we wanted to make a melodic capacitor, we should be able to auto craft it, provided we have all of the materials in the system. And it looks like we do, except for this crystalline alloy. So that's the thing that we do have to make sure that we have. But check it out. If we wanted to craft one of those, it does require that we have a full stack of red alloy ingots. Like, it knows how much of everything we need. So if we wanted to make, oh, I don't know, how about 10 of these things, we can kind of get an idea of the number of resources that we need. Yeah, it just starts getting a little crazy here. Especially when we start looking at like these grainy capacitors. Anyway, what is this? Oh, why is that in there actually? Melodic alloy ingot. Huh, I put that in the wrong spot, I guess. That was supposed to be melodic alloy ingot. What is that supposed to go in? What machine is that? That is supposed to go into an alloy smelter. Oh, you know what? I think I had removed that previously so we could put bronze in the alloy smelter or something. We were out of space. Yeah, so we're already overflowing on recipes for our alloy smelter. So we need to get that sorted at some point. We'll have to make another one of those. But anyway, so getting back to this, we wanted to craft one of these. It says that we can, except we don't have this crystalline alloy. So what does it take to craft one of these? That requires us to have grains of piezoality plus gold ingot and an alloy smelter. So yet another recipe that we need in the alloy smelter. So another reason to make another one. And then this is a sag mill recipe, and this is just a normal crafting recipe. Do we have pulsating crystals on auto craft and middle clicking? It is not trying to auto craft that. So we absolutely do need to make that recipe, so we can do that real quick. So that was crystalline, this one. Whoop, too far. And then I don't have it on the correct thing. Oh, that's one of the things about JEI and Applied Energistics right now that kind of bugs me. You have this plus sign here that you can move the items over into the crafting pattern. But if you're on the wrong thing, if you're on processing and not crafting, that button doesn't work. And then you have to click all the way back through again after you set it correctly. Anyway, so now that we have that, we can just go ahead and throw that into here somewhere. How about right here? And now we know how to make the pulsating crystals. We will also need to know how to turn those pulsating crystals into the grains. And again, I'm on the wrong thing, so we got to click back onto here. This one, this, done. That'll go into our sag mill. So that recipe goes here. And then we need the alloy smelter recipe for this guy. All right, so I need to be on this. I need to be on a processing pattern, and then we need that. Okay, so now we should know how to craft everything that goes into this. I think the other part is we are also going to need to know how to craft these guys, the empowered diamonds, which are going to come from this, because we're not going to do these one at a time. We'll do it in the block, which means we need to set up one of these recipes. Yeah, that's definitely something we're going to do. So what goes in the center here, that would be the diamantine crystal block. So we're going to need one of those. We're going to need a recipe on how to make one of those. So if I go back to this oak chest, we can put that in here. I did make the crystalline capacitor recipe and the energized capacitor recipe. So we can craft all of these now in our empowerer over here. But yeah, we can't just put that recipe in there and call it done. We do have to set a filter over here for the diamantine block. And again, we're just using a basic item filter, so we have limited space here. But let's see if we can add that diamantine block. That would be this guy. So that goes right there. And as long as we know how to make these, or we have them in the system, we should be able to craft that particular item now. So let's give that a test, I suppose. Place this back here. All right, so we need a diamond block put through the laser, and we'll have to automate the laser at some point. So diamond, we'll also have to automate making diamond blocks too, since that uses a factorizer, I'm pretty sure. And then we want to combine that. All right, so we have the diamond block that will go over onto our laser, and we cue that. There we go. All right, I just heard a skeleton. Why do we have a skeleton? How do we have a skeleton here? F7. Oh, apparently I'm missing torches. Okay. Well, that explains that. Okay, so now that we have the diamond block, or the diamantine crystal, so we can place that into here, and then if we tell it to make the empowered, next. So it says that we have everything. We click start. Is this working over here? Oh, everything just went into the empowerer. And there it goes. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I never did hook up the power system over here. You can see the power supply is not full, but it doesn't cost a lot of power to empower things, apparently. Yeah. So that's kind of cool, but we will have to get power over here to make sure these things fill up. But for right now, I guess it's just working with the internal power supply, which is okay. So we have the empowered. We take that over here and we split it. Yeah, we're gonna have to set up another factorizer, one for split, one for combine, and then get that completely automated as well. So that'll be something else that we do in the future. Put all that stuff away. All right, so empowered diamond. If I wanted to make a crystalline alloy ingot, crystalline, I guess the capacitor. Do we have everything now? Does it know how to do everything? Okay, so it still doesn't know how to make that because we never put that pattern into the alloy smelter. So can we remove something? How about if we remove the bronze? Can we put this in here and does it work? That's the important thing. So it looks like it knows how to craft everything and uses 913 bytes. So we're almost at the point where we can't do anything else. So if I start that up, what I really want to see is, does this complete? So it looks like it made the crystalline alloys. We're currently cooking the red iron compound. We're making some of these capacitors. Everything looks like it is going correct. Okay, and then we're going to be doing stuff over on the empowerers. So we should make sure this works correctly over here as well. Pretty sure it's going to work just fine, but let's just make sure nothing messes up. Yeah, that looks like, oh, what's going on? Where's the center item here? Yeah, something did mess up. Interesting. So the item that's supposed to be in the center went to one of the outside ones, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Okay, well, we obviously have some kind of a kink to work out. If I get rid of that, it should populate with the correct item. I need to get, okay, yeah, we got an issue here. So let's get rid of this. This goes here, and then the glowstone goes in its place once this is done. Okay, so while this works, it's not perfect. We will have to fix it. Now that's the wrong item that's in there. I think if I get rid of, oop, oh boy, I gotta get rid of that. And I think it's this glowstone that goes in its place. I need an empty hand. Put that there. Okay, well, things are working. And is this where this goes? Okay, and then that's working now. Oh no, it's almost perfect, but yeah, there is definitely a glitch that needs to be sorted out. I think I know how to fix that. That'll be something that we'll have to worry about in the future, but it looks like for the most part, this is working, and we just made the capacitor that we requested, so 90% working. All right, so crystalline capacitor. So to fix the issue with the empowerer, I think we just need to separate our extraction from the chest process. We need one conduit that is whitelisting going into the main empowerer, and then we need another conduit, another channel extracting that are going to the display stands around. One's going to be whitelist for the center, one's going to be blacklist for that center item going to the display stands. I think that'll solve the problem. So really what we should do at this point, we should upgrade to the advanced item filter because we are pretty much out of space on the empowerer. So I feel like we should do that, which means we need to make Z-Logic controllers. And I think the system knows how to make that. So let's see if we can do this. We're on processing pattern. And then I don't know why it does not allow me to do that. You must set it to crafting mode. Oh yeah, my mistake. I didn't click all the way through. So this, that. Okay, get rid of these things. So this is fine. Silicon, I'm going to switch it to these though. I think that should work okay. So we have the Z-Logic controller, so slice and splice. Let's see, do I need a pattern to make the advanced item filter? I guess I can make a pattern for that. So let's swap it back to this guy, that, and there we go. And then we'll throw this in here somewhere in our limited space. Okay, so advanced item filter. We want to advanced item filter. 2 of those guys, and it looks like we have everything, so that should craft up. As long as I got everything set up over there on the slice and splice correctly, and it looks like everything's working, cool. All right, so we have 2 of these guys. I'm gonna need item conduit. All right, let's go see if we can fix this thing. This should be a relatively straightforward fix. So yeah, currently we're just extracting on green here, and green is going to everything. So we're gonna set this to, let's set this to, how about pink? I don't know why pink. We're just gonna change it to pink. So that will be pink as well. So we're whitelisting items pink into here, and then we need to extract green. I need a wrench. Let's grab this. All right. There we go. And then we will extract green on this one. And we need a filter on the extraction, and that's going to be set to blacklist. And we're going to blacklist the items that are in this one going into the main display stand. I guess we have it on this side. I'm going to swap the filter from here to here. So we're only going to extract filtered, I guess, is the way I'm going to do that. So we need these items here. So pulverized coal, glowstone, pulverized coal, glowstone block, prismarine crystal, and the other thing is the diamantine block. Okay, so we should have pretty much everything on the list here. So I'll do that. This is going to be whitelist, and then we just need to drag each of these items over here. This guy, and what was the last one? Pulverized coal? I don't see it in here. Did I spell it wrong? No, it's right here. I found it. Okay, pulverized coal. So we're whitelisting those items here, and then we're going to blacklist those on this one. And hopefully that'll keep the items going into the correct locations, and we shouldn't see pulverized coal on one of the display stands. Everything should just work correctly. So this is going to be always active. Round robin should not matter. It should only be able to extract the 4 items that go in here, and there's only 4 inventories for them, and they can't accept more than 1 item per inventory. So I think that'll be fine just the way it is. Round robin's disabled. We're extracting always active. And yeah, the priority now does not matter since we're extracting on two different channels or whatever. Okay, so I think we should be good going forward. I think that'll solve the problem. I'll just run a quick test here to make sure everything's working correctly. And then next time we do like a large craft, we will make sure this thing fully works. All right, so a new advanced alloy smelter is in place, or enhanced, not advanced. And it's all set up back here. So we have new patterns, or I guess all of our patterns in here on both of these. Yep, so we are able to do all sorts of auto crafting, which is fantastic. Okay, so now that we have that set up, if I could get out of here. Now that we have that set up, we should be able to do a good portion of all of the capacitor auto crafting that we need to do. So one of the next things I think would probably be good. Let's see, can we do interfaces? If I want to make like 10 of those so we can do more auto crafting stuff, it looks like we can craft everything and we have the ability to do it all. We don't really have the space to do it though. And in order for us to increase the amount of space that we can craft with, we have to upgrade to at least a 4K crafting component to upgrade to our crafting storage. So one of those does require these capacitors. And I don't remember if we have any of those remaining. Capacitor, we have 40 of those. That's awesome. But getting these things auto-crafted, that is definitely something that we're going to have to look at in the future. Let's just take a quick look at this once again to see what that costs. So that requires a melodic capacitor. And I think at this point, we have that on auto-craft. Now, whether we have all the resources to support the auto-craft is another thing, but we do have that on auto craft. So what that tells me is we should be able to set up this recipe in our pressure chamber for auto crafting. And I think, yeah, we'd have to set up this stuff, but we have the transistors on auto craft already. So that's just a matter of doing this recipe too. Let's go ahead and get this set up real quick. So capacitor, we need this. We want this on a processing pattern and we want to do that. Awesome. Autocraft complete. Okay, not really. So we can do that, and then that's going to go into our pressure chamber, wherever that is. Oh, I didn't name it pressure chamber. Okay, so now we can do both of those, and back over here to this recipe. So we need a microchip, and that is going to be a crafting pattern. So we do this, and then we need another recipe for this, and one final recipe for those. Awesome. Now, I don't think we have a way to tell the system how to make iron nuggets. And since we're not storing our iron in a compacting drawer, we don't get those for free. So we need to set up a recipe for that as well, which is easy enough. And there we go. Okay. So with all these patterns here, we should be able to auto craft the, what are they called? I was going to say transistor, capacitor. That's what it's called. So the capacitor. Okay, and that is going to go down here into one of these. I guess we'll put on the bottom row. We don't have anything on this one just yet. Awesome. So if I wanted to do one of these, just out of curiosity, it looks like everything's correct and we have everything. It's just got to craft the melodic capacitor. Let's see if we can. Oh, we can't do this. It requires more crafting space than what we currently have. I wonder if I do this red alloy ingot. I wonder if we auto craft that, if that would help it out. Let's try doing capacitor again. Next. Available to craft. Maybe if we tell it to make the melodic. Let's try that. Next. Start that one up. So that is just doing the thing over there on the empowerer, or maybe that was the slice and splice. I can't remember. Anyway, capacitor. Okay, well, you know, this is 1047 bytes. That's still too much. I don't understand why this is too much. 1047 bytes. There's nothing different about this than like if I was to craft something else that has a lot of parts into it. Yeah, I don't know. I've noticed that about Applied Energistics auto crafting. Like we have all of these things that should be able to fit in there. like if I were to craft, oh, I don't know, how about 2 melodic capacitors? Well, let's actually do something else. Let's see, crystalline capacitor. If I want to craft like 2 of those, well, I guess that is still using a whole bunch of bytes in here. Can I just do 1? So 1 crystalline capacitor with all of this stuff going in there. It's got to craft all these. It's got all this stuff that's going in there. That's using 1035 bytes. But if I wanted to just craft the 1 melodic capacitor, or I guess the 1 capacitor, which has hardly anything going there, it uses 1047 bytes. I don't really understand why the difference is, but apparently that's a thing. Okay, but we can't even autocraft this because we don't have the storage space. So let's move on. We'll go ahead and craft one of these, a 4K. So we need to craft 3 of these. Do we have the pure Certus? Let's go ahead and make some of those. Guess we'll do that many. That should be enough. Yeah, we'll do the pure Certus just to save on the regular Certus here, and that's fairly quick to do over in our crystal growth chamber. We still have to get the acceleration cards in there to make that go ever so slightly faster. We'll do that here pretty soon. This should be about done though. Maybe. What's it doing? Let's go take a look. Why is that not processing? It looks like it's doing something. It's just going a little slower than I thought it should go. Okay, yeah, if we had the acceleration, that would have been done like 3 years ago, but that's fine, it's done now. All right, so we can put those into here, 1, 2, 3, and then we can do this once we get ourselves the redstone alloy. We need 4 of those, and then we also needed a Certus calculation processor, which is another pure Certus. All right, so I'm just gonna go and craft up a few of those, and then we needed the calculation inscriber press. We need silicon. We need to get ourselves redstone, and pure Certus is still not there yet. It's still crafting. I'll just take another moment. All right, so we now have the 4K ME storage component, and I did take the time and I made the acceleration card, so hopefully this will not take forever next time we have to do anything here. We still have these other 8 inscribers that we need to turn into the advanced inscribers and then get this all hooked up with the auto crafting. That's something we'll be doing here pretty soon as well. So the 4K ME storage component, now that we have this, we should be able to upgrade our existing one. So that is sitting right here. This is what runs all of our auto crafting. We'll go ahead and remove that. We will take it apart and we'll put the 4K in there. And that should now hopefully allow us to do the capacitor that I wanted to do, to test it to make sure this works. So if we want to do a capacitor, it now says everything is okay. So let's try and craft that. We'll head over here. Maybe we'll see this part happen. Oh, we saw it for just a split second. It looks like things worked. Let's check it out. And sure enough, so if I wanted to craft, I don't know, 10 of those, am I able to do that? No, that costs way too much. How about if I wanted to do 2? 2 does not look like we can do either because we're missing cyan plastic. But once we get that in there, that might allow us to do it. Let's just give it a try. Auto crafting, this is definitely something that I'm interested in doing, and I want to make sure that everything works. So back over here, and we'll make 2. And it says everything's happy, so this is going to take a minute. It's got a lot of capacitors to do. Let's go ahead and start this up and just make sure everything is going to work. Now, another thing that we can do, now that we have upgraded our CPU, we should start looking at doing coprocessors. What coprocessors will do is allow it to like craft these as it's crafting these and making the red iron compound, because it can only do like one thing at a time. If we put a coprocessor on there, it'll be like, oh, I have this stuff now. I'll start crafting up these grainy capacitors at the same exact time. You can see it's kind of like jumping back and forth, and it's not really making these as it gets 2 of them at a time. Yeah, anyway. We are kind of limited on what we could do, so we need the coprocessors, and those are engineering processors and crafting units. And crafting units, is this stuff, and we have that stuff. So how many processors do we have? Enough. So let's do, you know what? We should really just upgrade our entire auto crafting, huh? Maybe we should do like 2 more CPUs and each one of those have like, oh, I don't know. Well, I guess we can only do that much. So maybe 2 more CPUs and then give some of them crafting units, crafting coprocessors. Yep, and in order to do that, we need the engineering processors, which we have. All right, so let's do some engineering processor action. How about we give each of them 1 coprocessor for right now, and then I will make a few more of these crafting components. We want to do the 4K ones, so let's do that real quick. So we want to make this guy, and that means I got to make these. And pure Certus, this should go super fast in comparison to what it did before. Oh, but we can't do that because we're actually auto crafting right now. So I'm just going to be wasteful and use this stuff. So there is enough for 2 more of these 4Ks, provided we have the stuff. And that's the red alloy, which we can't, redstone alloy, which we can't make yet because we're still auto crafting this. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait for this to finish up. It looks like things are working correctly. I'll verify it works. We'll make some of the upgrades to our CPUs and we'll be back. Okay, so now we have 3 separate processors and all 3 of them have 2 coprocessors each. So they should be able to do, you know, a decent amount of stuff per auto craft. And then we can set up 3 separate auto crafts going at the same time now. So our auto crafting capacity has just increased significantly, which is pretty cool. I did add in a cable here that goes straight down. This is going to be another P2P cable. And then these are running off of P2P right here as well, like we do. Yep, so we have 3 channels running these 3 processors. Eventually, if we ever do fill out this entire multi-block for the ME controller, this middle cable section right here will go away and it'll just connect right to the bottom middle ME controller block. But for right now, yep, that's what we got going on with our controller. So yeah, this is really, really good. I like it. I would like to add in 2 more ME controllers here so we're not doing this funky thing with the P2P cables that we have going off in the cardinal directions. And then this one at the back here is really just a placeholder for now. We're not really auto crafting anything back there, but eventually we will. So next things that we should do in order to completely revolutionize our auto crafting experience here is we need to add in more of our molecular assemblers and more of our ME interfaces here, so we have more ability to auto craft, more space for patterns, and we also need to put in the acceleration cards here. That'll really help us out, making the auto crafts go that much faster when we do tell it to auto craft something. So yeah, we got lots of good stuff going on here at this point, and yeah, I'm very happy with where we are. Well, all right, guys, it looks like we are out of time for this episode for today. Yep, we got a lot of good things going on here. Our auto crafting ability has been significantly increased. We are able to start auto crafting things here on our Empowerer. We are able to auto craft capacitors, which is a huge plus for us. Those take forever to manually craft. I had to make a whole bunch of those previously for when we were doing the ME controllers, but now I can just queue them up, say, hey, make me, you know, however many we can do in our crafting storage, and then just walk away and come back and they'll all be done. And I don't have to waste my time on it anymore, which is absolutely fantastic. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Project Ozone 3. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.